A commander in Israel's Air Force has provided new updates into the open-air battle between Iran and Israel a few weeks ago. The Air Force now says Iranian Revolutionary Guard troops launched 32 missiles towards the Israeli Golan Heights on May 10th. That's a dozen more missiles than previously thought. Israel also confirmed it used its state-of-the-art brand-new F-35s for combat operations. It appears it's the first time the F-35 jet was ever used in a combat sortie. The Air Force says jets struck 20 targets in Syria that belong to Iran. They were met with more than 100 Syrian anti-aircraft missiles. They all missed, and the IDF successfully destroyed in response anti-aircraft batteries. Still with us is retired IDF General Hanan Geffen, but let me first turn our attention to Daniel Tsemach, our defense correspondent. This new information all came a few hours ago from the Israeli Air Force commander. What do we know about the use of these F-35s, specifically their role in combat missions?
Well, so he was addressing a group of some 20 or so Air Force commanders from foreign militaries around the world and acknowledged that the Israeli Air Force has utilized the F-35, a deer jet, a deer meaning mighty, in at least two occasions on two separate fronts. While he said that, he held up proudly a picture of one of these jets in broad daylight over the skyline of Beirut, maybe some sort of message to Iranian-backed Hezbollah, which is very active and operating in Lebanon. Definitely a big announcement for the Israeli Air Force commander, especially given the audience and given the context of what's happening specifically when we talk about Syria. A lot of these mysterious attacks that don't have necessarily a claim of responsibility from any actor at times. It leads some to maybe question whether the F-35 is being used there. And also when we're talking about air defense technologies being improved for nations such as Syria, for example, the F-35 poses a very strong strategic advantage for the Israeli military, aside from the pitfalls. Very expensive. There are a lot of issues with this jet, but here we're understanding really what the sort of role it plays in Israel's weapons arsenal.
I want to bring back the General. General Hanan Geffen, your take on the F-35. This is a state-of-the-art jet. It's a stealth jet, but they're incredibly expensive. They're costing Israeli taxpayers $100 million apiece. They're difficult to maintain. Reportedly, they're difficult to fly. Is it worth it, though? Is it necessary for Israel's future?
Yes, what we see here, actually, in Syria and vis-a-vis the Iranian, it's a very crucial part of the exchanges that go all across the Middle East. And I'm glad that Secretary Pompeo presented a whole approach to the Iranian case. Israel is part of it, and Israel, you know, every week or so, some Iranian clerics will declare that we are going to destroy Haifa or Tel Aviv. We have the ballistic missile, and this kind of strikes with the F-35 and without the F-35 is a very clear demonstration to the Iranians that the force is not their strong side. The Air Force is very weak. As a matter of fact, they have only the ballistic missiles, and this is going to be taken care of by the new approach of the new administration of the President Trump and the new administration.